Everybody says don't quit, keep going, push through. But what if quitting is the bravest thing you can do? What if letting go isn't weakness, it's wisdom? Or what if it's not? Let's talk about it. So if you watched my video on getting out of a rut, then you know that I've been going through a rough time with my acting career. And honestly, I've been thinking about quitting. But that's nothing new. I've thought about quitting a lot. But
I'm still standing.
Not only with acting, with the countless survival jobs that I've had over the years, I've often had to make a calculated decision between work and art and money, money and mental health. So at this point, I'm kind of an expert on quitting. Is that a good thing? Well, maybe, because that's what I want to dive into today. When is it okay to quit, and when should you hang in there even when it's tough? Because in a world that glorifies hustle and consistency and never giving up, there's definitely a larger conversation to be had here. I'll give you 4 times it's okay to quit, 4 times it's not, and some alternatives to quitting that might help you if you're somewhere in the middle. Let's start with the 4 times it's okay to quit. First, if there's no more joy. There's a concept called the sunk cost fallacy. And to me, this is the biggest counterpoint to hustle culture's never give up mentality. Basically, it's when you keep going at something, whether it's a job, a relationship, a goal, just because you've invested so much time, money, or energy into it already. It's really faulty reasoning, because investment doesn't equal meaning or purpose or fulfillment. If it no longer brings you joy, if it's draining your spirit more than fueling it, then sticking with it isn't building character, it's building a cage. In this type of scenario, there's a whole world of opportunities waiting for you if you just have the courage to let go. And it won't be easy. It's hard to lose an investment, whether it's money or time or focus. But I truly believe that the strongest human urge is for freedom. And if you are choosing to trap yourself and stay stuck in something where the joy has evaporated, I believe that you have an obligation to quit. And this goes hand in hand with the second time that it's okay to quit. When you're holding on to a dead identity. I've been a creative, an actor for most of my adult life. So what if I did quit? But then I'd have to tell everybody that that's no longer my thing, and that would hurt. It would hurt my ego. It would affect the life that I've built. And frankly, I'd probably feel lost. So the question to ask is, are you holding on to something only because it's who you've always been? We love to put ourselves in neat little boxes, and other people, especially people closest to you, love to keep you there too. But you're not defined by what you did or even who you were yesterday. Sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is quit and let yourself be lost. Because sometimes being lost is how you find something new, something that actually fits who you are right now. Which leads right into my third point. It's okay to quit if it no longer aligns. You're supposed to change in life. That's the only way that growth happens. But sometimes that growth means that something that you once loved or supported or agreed with no longer fits who you are now. Maybe you go through a spiritual shift. Maybe you learn something that changes your values. If your path no longer reflects who you are, it's going to slowly wear at you. Even subtle areas of misalignment can slowly eat away at your peace and your quality of life. If your work or your relationship or whatever it is pulling you in the opposite direction of your values, then it's not only okay, it's necessary to quit. It's okay to quit if the world has changed. I've always had this story idea floating around in my head about the last typewriter salesman. I don't have any plot details at all, but I just have this scene of the last typewriter salesman going door to door, and every time people open the door, he can see there's a word processor or a computer on the desk, but he stands there and tries to sell them a typewriter. And his wife is pissed. They're slowly going broke, but he will not quit his job because it's what he's always done. We live in a world where technology and industries are changing fast. And sometimes the game really does change. The thing that you put your heart and soul into may not be needed the same way it was before. And yeah, you might be able to find a way to shift and pivot, but it also might be time for you to try to find something else that will give you the same level of fulfillment. Don't be like my typewriter guy. If your industry or your environment has changed so much that sticking with it is like selling typewriters in a world of iPads, it may be time to find a new path. And here's a bonus, no-brainer, good time to quit. When an opportunity presents itself that is clearly an upgrade, when it's better, more aligned, more joyful, when it challenges you in a way that is going to level you up, quit the old thing, onward and upward. So let's flip the lens and look at 4 times that it is not okay to quit. It's not okay to quit just because it's hard. Anything worthwhile is hard. Getting it is hard. Keeping it is probably harder. Challenges and setbacks and unexpected crises are inevitable. So the questions you have to ask yourself are, do I still feel joy underneath the struggle? Do I have a strong enough why to keep me pushing through? Am I doing it for me? Not for clout, not for family expectations or anything external. If you can answer yes to all of these questions, then hard is not a reason to quit. It's a message to dig deeper. It's not okay to quit based off of fear. AI is going to replace us all anyway, so I might as well quit now. That is an example of a fear-based reaction. Whether it's fear of competition, fear that you're not good enough, fear of being vulnerable, quitting out of fear feels like relief in the moment. It's sneaky, but it comes with a deep, deep regret. When fear starts to creep in, try to reframe it as excitement. Let it energize you instead of shutting you down. Because I truly believe that the best things in life are right on the other side of fear. Fear is no reason to quit. It's not okay to quit because of external pressure. If people are telling you to quit, but it really doesn't feel right deep down, don't quit. Unless you're staying in something because of ego or out of fear, then your internal guide matters way more than anybody's outside opinion. Trust yourself. Follow your instincts. Blaze your own path, even if everybody else thinks you're crazy. Because at the end of the day, you're the person who has to live with your choices, not them. And even if things don't turn out the way that you had hoped, at least you won't have the regret of not staying the course. It's not okay to quit if you haven't given it a real shot. Sometimes we quit too soon before we've even given something a chance to grow. For example, I'm trying to rebrand my channel right now, and one of the first new videos I posted got like 3 views in 3 days. And I thought, maybe this YouTube thing is not for me. It sucks, but I hadn't given it enough time to make that call. So if you're hit with some early discouragement, ask yourself, have I given it a real shot? Have I truly shown up? Have I done everything that I can? And if the answer is no, it's not okay to quit. So what if you're in the messy middle? You're not quite ready to let go, but something is telling you that you don't have the same love for whatever it is anymore. I'll quickly run through some alternatives to quitting that might be able to help you out. Pivot. Maybe there's a different angle or niche or a different avenue you can take that doesn't take you completely off of the path, but just shifts the path in a related way. Take a break. Step away from whatever it is for some time so that you can recharge, analyze, and feel fresh before you come back to it and make a decision on what to do. Downgrade to a hobby or part-time. Not everything is meant to be your full-time thing, but that doesn't mean you have to let it go. And I think this especially applies to creatives. We sometimes feel that our passion also has to be our career. But if your path has shifted some, then maybe downgrade to part-time or do it as a side thing. Make it a hobby. Do it for the love of it, not for a check or for the prestige. Take the pressure off and see if that renews your excitement about whatever it is. Redefine success. Maybe the problem isn't the thing itself, but it's the unrealistic expectations that you've put on it. change the narrative around why it's not working, and you might find that it is working from a different perspective. Sometimes quitting is the bravest thing you can do, and sometimes it's the coward's way out. Only you know what's true for you. So from one maybe quitter to another, I hope that when the time comes, we both have the strength and honesty to make the right choice. And hey, remember that low view video I talked about that almost made me quit YouTube? It's right here. It's about happiness, and I think it goes hand in hand with what we talked about today. Plus, I did some cool green screen work. Click it. Expand, evolve, and elevate. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.